That means it's time for our Thursday morning FYI show. We're talking with, if I get the name right, the Speak Out Against Suicide organization. Shawn Feltz with us this morning. Good morning, Shawn. Did we get the name of the group right this morning?
Speak Out Against Suicide is the name of the group.
And we'll start from there. Tell us a little bit about the organization, what it is, and what did you try to do, where it came from.
What Speak Out Against Suicide does is we try to create awareness in our communities, surrounding communities, and teach on prevention and what signs to look for, those types of things with people out there, those folks that have some mental health issues. We provide support. We have some different support groups as far as survivor of suicide support groups, survivor of suicide loss support groups, sharing the pain support group. We have a health journey group that meets every other Saturday. And then I also go up to Hightower and provide support to those young ladies, going through their steps of getting out on their own. We also, anybody that needs to talk, we're a safe place to come and talk. We provide resources to those that are in crisis or that need to be getting in to see those professionals. So we help them to do that. In fact, last week I helped somebody call to get an appointment, so we just really want to try to help get people feeling well.
Talk about the group, more about all those things, but Shawn, tell us a bit about your background. What gets you into doing this?
Well, my passion was always to be able to help people, and I've worked in many different things. I've done a lot of things in my 55 years, but this was just kind of a passion of mine. I had a girlfriend who had lost her father and son within the same year. So that kind of, got me thinking about things and how the world is now. And so that was one of the things. But everybody on our board has a direct impact by suicide, whether it's a family member or a close friend or somebody. So I think that that's important that we all, share those types of things and, how they were feeling and what we do together.
And Shawn, this is a formal organization. You have a board, you actually have an office, you have a location.
Yes.
So sometimes maybe a little different than just an all volunteer group who gets together to try to do things.
This I am the only paid.
You're the paid employee, but yeah. So you do a lot of things. But there is actually an organization, a board of directors, and things like that.
Correct.
So, where are you located? Do you have an office?
We just got donated by Kim Stahl her old investment building, which is located in Comanche, right next to the bowling alley, if you're familiar with Comanche. And there's a great big sign out there, so you can't miss it. And we are so grateful for her, in doing that. So now we have space and we have places to put all the things that all of our board members had kept at their homes or anywhere else so they could bring them over to the building. So everything is set in there.
Shawn, too, maybe mention this, you may be located in Comanche, but you don't serve just Comanche.
Oh, no, I've been all over. I can't even tell you. I want to say it's about 7 different counties that I've been in. I speak to schools. I speak to clubs, organizations. We would like to get into our area businesses. The trainings that I've taken have given me some opportunity to help people support themselves. What I mean by that is like, what did you do today to make sure you were going to be well for the day? Did you need a cup of coffee? Did you need to take a walk? Did you have to get up at a certain time? It could be anything, but start having people think about what they do for themselves.
In doing this, I guess you said this was a passion of yours, but did you have to learn some things to
I am not licensed. I am not certified. I could not be a psychologist or a psychiatrist. We need those people immensely. They are above and beyond. But what I do is I go out and I get trained. I have, of course, your CPR and first aid. I have a mental health first aid. I have a youth mental health first aid. I have a gatekeeper training, and I have a WRAP training, which is Wellness Recovery Action Plan. And what that is, and I have a full training to be able to train others in this, and that is something to help people learn how to support themselves. So for instance, if I am anxious about something, I have a toolbox in my head or on a piece of paper or on your phone, wherever you have it, that I can pull out that I've created for myself to deal with something.
In doing this, so in other words, if maybe if I get it right, you can tell me.
Mhm.
The Speak Out Against Suicide group is kind of maybe a first contact, and then
Yes.
if they then funnel people on to other places for more help if they need it. Is
Yes.
that a good description?
Yes,
Am
we
I
want
interpreting that right?
absolutely. If somebody is in crisis and somebody is needing help that we are beyond, we're not the ones that need to be there. It's those professionals and those licensed people that need to help them. So, for instance, we have the mobile crisis unit that Eastern Iowa has. We also have the suicide hotline, the National Suicide Hotline. We refer to that. There's Eagle View, there's Vera French, there's Robert Young. I mean, I can name a whole bunch of resources that we have in the building. I would take up all your time doing that, but we want to get people the help they need. But in the meantime, help them to build some of those tools to make sure that they're taking care of themselves.
And sometimes your experience show that maybe sometimes you get a contact and maybe that's all somebody needs is just somebody to say,
gosh.
Thanks for calling.
Yes, we might even have somebody walk in the building. We might even call and say, hey, could I just come over and see? Yeah, absolutely. And they might sit down and not think that they're really going to talk about some deep issues, but it might end up being that way. So we never know. We are there to listen. We're not there to listen to answer. We are there to listen and direct them and guide them the best way we can to the next step.
What are you finding out as you're doing this? You mentioned being in different counties, but are there different things, different places that are impacting people? Are you finding, Clinton County versus other counties you're in, or the same things?
Rural counties are kind of some of the things. So my statistics that we have are usually, they're only up to like 2019 because they haven't all been updated from COVID and those types of things. So you got to add all that in. But the 2019 stats from the National Institute of Mental Health state that suicide is number 10 in the nation of deaths, of leading cause of deaths. But in the ages of 10 to, I believe it is 34, it is number 2. So when it goes up the next 20 years, it moves to number 5. So, I mean, it goes to the span of age. So some of the signs to look for in people, we just have to really educate people on what to look for and to make sure that they're not, don't hide it or keep it a secret. If you notice somebody's, not acting the same at their job, or they seem irritable, or maybe they're not sleeping, they're gaining or losing weight, they're giving away things, they may have access to weapons. Gosh, I could go on and on about that too, but just to notice and to say to somebody else, hey, I noticed so-and-so, was not really talkative today. Is there something going on? And if that person does, just so people become aware of their surroundings and know that, hey, you might be dealing with something,
Do sometimes, and you mentioned that the younger crowd, do we focus on teen suicides too much, not enough? Is that the wrong emphasis? You said it spans all age groups. It
spans all age groups, but we find that, we want to hit it in the head as young as possible. So, and that's why when we're saying, don't keep it a secret. If a friend tells you, then you need to say, hey, do you have a plan? And I'm sorry, I can't keep that secret. I'm going to have to tell somebody. And then I hope that they go and tell somebody, because the person, if they would follow through, you're the one that's going to have to live with it. So do you understand what I'm saying about, we've got to come together and learn that everybody struggles with something, every single person. But we want to learn how to fix those things and how to make them better. They might not be fixable, but they may be able to be better.
Shawn, in talking about this, who should be the one? I mean, is it? And some of this may be we mentioned parents. Should they watch for their kids? How about their friends from school? How about when they get to older? Is it coworkers? Is it managers? Who should be watching for this among people they know? And
every single person should be watching out for every single person. If I'm sitting with here, Dave, and if I knew you before this and I thought, gosh, he's really not as talkative as he was the last time, I might ask you when I'm done, hey, is everything going okay? You're probably going to say, yeah, it's great, because that's what we're brought up to say, but we want to get people to start saying, you know what? No, I'm not feeling well. And then if somebody does say that, then hopefully you'll get in contact with, either us to help get them resources or whatever we need to do. You don't have to keep it buried.
We talk about you getting groups. Do you get people referred to you to the organization, or did they have to come? Did they have to come seek you, or can I call Shawn up and go, hey, I got this yes. person I'm worried about. Can you reach out to them? How does that work if somebody's got a concern about a friend, a neighbor?
That is exactly what you would do. You can reach out to our Speak Out building. The number there is 563-259-8255. We do have an answering machine, but if you can't get somebody and you're worried, you can also call my cell phone number at 563-321-0592, and we will find you help. If it's not per se me, I will pass it to one of our board members. And they are a help. So, yeah.
You mentioned board members. Can you tell us who it is, or they like to keep it a little? Who the board members are?
They won't mind.
I want to be fair to them. If they don't want.
Nope, they won't.
If they don't want recognition as being involved.
No, they won't mind at all, because we want people to know who they are, in case somebody needs to reach out as well.
But then tell us.
Okay, we have our president, Linda Kramer. We have Esther Vogel. We have Nikki Carber, Margot Bausman, Barb Coffey, and Brian and Tricia McLennan. And that makes up our board. And plus we have many volunteers that are out there that help us with a lot of things. So
you need more volunteers, more board members? You have enough?
I think we're good for right now. They haven't told me otherwise yet. We'll have to wait for the next meeting.
But anybody, if they want to support the cause, they can.
They can. Absolutely.
Something else, you got a big event coming up too. Tell us a little bit about that. We don't want to get you out here without talking about that.
We have our Speak Out Against Suicide Gala coming up on April 2nd. It is at the Wild Rose Casino. Doors open at 5:30. I believe dinner's at 6:30. Our tickets went online and sold out within 45 minutes. So right now we are full.
You can't get in. If I wanted to come, I'm out.
Yeah, can't get in, but there is hope for everybody. So this year we are honoring our educators. So we have had volunteers that have made up supply cakes, school supply cakes. So we have, in my building, I have all of these supply cakes and all of these baskets all around me. So I'm starting to get claustrophobic, but they are amazing. So what can happen is, if you're not able to be at the gala, there will be a link on our Facebook page, Speak Out Against Suicide Facebook page, that you can get on that link and you can get in there to be able to bid on those supply baskets. And after you bid, and if you get a basket, then you can donate it to whatever school or teacher you would like. So we've got that going on. Same with the baskets. You can bid on those as well.
Yeah, we mentioned fundraiser. Is that the main source of income for this Speak Out Against Suicide? Where do you get money?
Our main resources come privately from our gala, and then we host a Breaking the Silence walk in the fall. So those two things are our big things. We also, the gala is huge. There's going to be live auctions there. I think they've got a couple sides of beef. They've got a couple vacations to Gulf Shores. They've got, there's just amazing things that they're going to be doing there. And then we had a raffle for a side-by-side that we only sold 300 tickets. I believe there might be a handful left right now, but those were $100 a piece. And Brenny's has said if somebody doesn't need the side-by-side, they can always sell it right back. So that's good. We've got just so much. We've got a featured speaker, Erica Tyson from Bellevue High School. She's a Spanish teacher there. She had lost her husband to suicide. So she is going to be having a little 10 minutes, of talking with some students. And she also provided us a Spanish dinner to give away, or auction off. So that'll be great.
You mentioned speaker. Do you find people at some point willing to talk publicly, or is it okay if they don't?
It's okay if they don't. Everybody has their time. So for some people, they can get out there and talk. Like I'm a talker, so I'll just talk. But there's some people that just are not ready. And, we might ask somebody, but they might not. But we just, we don't want it to be, we want to make a point at our gala, but we don't want it to just be, depressing or down or get anybody, we want it to be preventative, creating that awareness and to know that it happens to people around us.
When you started the show, you talk about a number of different things that the group does, speak out against suicide. We'll mention that so people know what group we're talking about. Mm-hmm. What are some of those things? How do they work? You mentioned support groups, a long list of those. Talk to us.
So
can you remember all of them?
Educating and going into the schools. Like I've spoken in front of Kiwanis here in town and Rotary. I've gone to Savannah. I've gone to Geneseo. I've gone to wherever anybody will take me and I can get in front of. I truly wish that I could, as far as even businesses, if you're having annual trainings, get me in front. I only need 20 minutes and I can make a difference, I hope. So doing that, we also, that I forgot about, is we provide a Thanksgiving dinner every year that is sponsored by Speak Out for those in Comanche that are needing a Thanksgiving dinner.
Do you host some of those support groups, or do you funnel those off to other?
I host 1, 2, 3, and I go to supports. So I have 4 right now that I host, and then Esther and Barb Coffee have one that they host.
Different topics at each one? Different? Yes. Are they all the same?
Different topics. And we're always open to a need for anything else as well. If there's anybody out there that's, really struggling with something, let us know. Maybe we can find somebody to, have some support.
Hey, Shawn, are you ever surprised at the demand for services? Hey, I don't know the right terminology. I know I should have written it down. The police chief was giving his annual report, and one of the things he mentioned was actually in their response to suicide calls was down, was they called a good sign, but it was in the hundreds, I believe, calls. Is that surprising at all?
It is not surprising. Like I said, it's so hard to really know what suicides really counted because there's so much overdose or there's so much, things that you really don't know because you can't get the answers to. So it goes into that addiction side excuse me, of things as well. So it's hard. It really is hard to give a true number, I think.
But also you see demand.
Oh, yes, there are people out there that are hurting, but what's good is because we're seeing more of that, that's good. People are talking. People are opening up. Back in the day, you didn't talk about that stuff. You didn't talk about anything that was, a trauma in your life. You brushed it under the rug. You didn't ever talk about it. So I think that's good that people are talking.
When you go out to talk about going all over, is the Speak Out Against Suicide organization that we have in our backyard here one of the few around? Because you talk about going to all, number of counties, or
we are the only group in this area. There is, I know there's Michaela's Hope that is in Muscatine. I know there is Foster's Voice in the Quad Cities. There's some out in Western Iowa too. I can't think of their name right now, but there's not many. But like I said, we're here to just listen and help to guide and give those proper resources.
Shawn, again, we'll probably, some of this is repeat, but maybe it's always good. what should people watch for? We mentioned everybody watches out for everybody. What should people watch for? And maybe throw in there too says, are there different things to watch for in different age levels? So kind of give a dual question there.
Oh gosh, wow. So, you might watch for forgetfulness. What traumas have happened in people's lives? Have they had a loss lately? Excuse me, I've got a tickle today. Like maybe they're just plain not themselves. And if you know them well enough, you would pick up on those things. As far as kids, are they showing up to school on time? Is their work doing well? All of those things put together.
Shawn, when you talk about this, what is which is harder? Which do you need more? People who maybe pick up on things to come to speak out, or the person who has that experience?
Well, we sometimes don't know what to say. So what we want to say is, oh, suck it up, it'll be fine. That's probably not what to say. So what you need to say is like, you know what, I really care about you. How can I help you? And then they can answer, or you can say, I know a group that could help you. And that's where we would come in.
Those are good comments. As I says that if I'm talking to someone, what should I say to someone that I see some red flags?
You know what? It's just, I'm sorry you're feeling that way. Is there anything that I can do to help you? Is there anything that I can do, or could I reach out to someone for you? What is it that I can help you with? And it might just be that you sat and listened to them say, no, I'm not feeling well, or whatever.
Talking to Shawn Phelps from the Speak Out Against Suicide organization. And what if somebody is not comfortable in asking, mention what to say? What if that makes them uncomfortable? Should they call you and say, I know this person,
absolutely.
Can you talk to them? Because everybody's not as comfortable
absolutely.
As you may be talking to someone.
I've met more strangers that are now friends than I can count. So, it is absolutely okay to reach out to us if you're not comfortable. We're gonna try to help them be comfortable, and we're gonna try to reach out to that person.
We talk like everybody's comfortable talking to their friends about this topic, and they may not be.
No, and it's asking that hard question. If you know somebody's down in the dumps, you're gonna have to ask, hey, are you thinking about taking your life? And that's a really uncomfortable question to ask someone. And I know that, but you need to ask that, and you probably need to ask it one more time in that same conversation. And then, again, like I said earlier, is do you have a plan? Do you have a date? Do you know when? And get as much information as you can, and then you go tell somebody, whoever it is, if we can help you get to if it's a crisis and that's your conversation, I hope you're calling that crisis line, 1-800-273-8255. So.
We had a couple things before we get done, Shawn. You're sold out for your big gala event, but if somebody wants to bid on some items, help out that way, maybe take advantage of some of those things, help raise funds and help the cause, and maybe help somebody else. Tell us a bit about how they do that.
So what Nikki does is she sets up everything is put, all of our baskets and all of our silent auction items are put into a Just Cause Bid Pal. So that link will be shared, I believe, on March 30th on our page. So you'd have to go to that page and find the link, click on that link, and it'll walk you through everything else. And you can go through and bid on items. And if somebody overbids you, your phone will ding, or it will tell you that somebody has overbid, and you can go back in and watch those things. But we have, like I said, we've got so many things to live auction. We've got, I believe there's like 10 live auction items while we're there. And then on top of the Bid Pal that you can do is there's one more raffle that we're going to only do on Bid Pal, and that is for a vacation in Mexico. So you can only purchase your raffle tickets on Bid Pal.
Okay. Now, if somebody wants to get a hold of the Speak Out Against Suicide group, or how do they do that? We want to make sure I know you mentioned it earlier, but it's probably worthwhile to mention it again as we wrap things up.
Mhm.
Where are you at? What do they need to do if they want to talk to Shawn Feltz or they want more information?
So what you need to do, Speak Out Against Suicide is located in Comanche, Iowa, 1805 South Washington Boulevard. So right on the main drag, you're going to pass Dollar General heading out of town. We're on the left-hand side. Big sign, and our phone number is 563-259-8255. We do have an answering machine if you need to leave a message in case somebody's not there. If it's urgent, you may call my cell phone, 563-321-0592.
And two, you mentioned a suicide hotline. It's a national hotline, but that might be worth throwing out there again too,
Yes.
Because that may be a quick bypass, and that somebody needs to feel the need for that number. What is that?
The National Suicide Hotline is 1-800-273-8255. If you're not comfortable with talking, you can text HELP to 741-741. And also a new mental health emergency, instead of 911, it's 988.
Oh, a lot of new things there. We've got Shawn Feltz from the Speak Out Against Suicide organization here. I guess we'll say in the area.
Yes.
Not just in Clinton County, but in the area. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.
You're listening to AM 1340 KROS, Clinton, Iowa. FM 105.